Is it on?
Hi.
Oh yeah, it is on, isn't it?
Welcome to our second video.
Alright, this is our second vlog. I'm Oldskool Pat.
Dancehall Neil.
And today we're going to be talking about some of our favorite artists.
Yes. This video and the video after. And then I always have notes on the phone, so I want to like look and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
But I think I was thinking the other day, like when we do favorite albums, like I can't think of a list that doesn't contain at least 50 different albums, man.
Yeah, that's
gonna be a harder one. But then I think like the guilty pleasures would be fun.
Yeah,
I think that'll be kind of fun. Yeah. And yeah. Well, anyway,
why don't you kick it off?
this is what's the show called?
I forget.
Vinyl with Taste. That's what I went with. It wasn't taken.
Oh yeah, Vinyl with Taste. That's right.
It sounds good.
Yeah, I like that.
I can't believe it's not taken.
Yeah, Vinyl Taste. Might be tasteless at times, but not tonight. Only the good shit. Stuff.
Well, the guilty pleasures, that'll be that'll be tasteless.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can guarantee it'll be tasteful. All right, I'll start with. See, and what to start with? I'm just gonna go right in the bag, man.
All right.
Big U.
Jayus.
Chichi Run.
Manly Augustus Buchanan.
What a name. Some teeth on that guy.
Oh yeah.
Here's why. One of the reasons why I like this one. Not just because it's the first one, and this will show up again on the favorite album.
This is Chichi Run we're talking about here. By the way.
Little Youth. I've never seen that. I don't know who that is. It's like a kid.
Huh. Yeah, no.
And it says like Alton Ellis, but I think it's like a rhythm. Prince Buster All Stars. This is great. Shaft.
Very nice.
Yeah. So this I got from Ernie B's. The only problem I got it really cheap, like $6 or $10 or something like that. But the pressing's messed up. So there's some songs on side B that you gotta like hook up your.
Sure.
But it's worth it. I think, man. It's either that or I could spend $50 on one that doesn't do that. I don't think they have this on CD. I don't think you can get it on CD.
Yeah, I've never seen that on CD in my life. And let's see, some of my favorite Big Youth albums would be like Screaming Target.
Natty Cultural Dread.
I
love the art on that.
It's good art.
I love it.
And Blood and Fire Records put out a compilation called Not a Universal Dread shortly before they folded, which is a comprehensive look at his whole career. I like that a lot.
Was that 3 discs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only thing I have Hit the Road Jack with Natty Cultural Dread on one CD, but the artwork's weird and it's cool, but if you like both albums, I think both of those albums are great.
I think the first one I got was Dreadlocks Dread.
Was it 75?
Uh-huh. Not his best by any stretch, but it was a good intro.
But yeah, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
He's still going, kind of.
Yeah. I did hear him on that. Well, that's not new anymore, is it? 2005. But I'm old school past. So for me, it's new. So, like the track he did for the Fisherman compilation, they were all doing songs on Fisherman.
The Congos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he contributed a track to that.
Yeah, he did. That was a devil set. You have that?
I have it. Yeah.
I got that too. I love it.
Everything Blood and Fire ever did.
Do you?
Yeah, except for some of the compilations of their material, which I didn't buy because
they
had everything else.
Then your reggae collection is going to be all already Vols, if that's what you're focusing in on. I don't want to go off on a tangent about like how great that album is.
Yeah.
But there's so many new artists on that, or newer and old on it. It's great.
Yeah, I liked it. It was interesting that song had never been versioned before. Really. Yeah. Just took him 30 years.
And that's 2005. He had an album a year or two later called Musicology,
Oh, cool.
which is really good. But you know, I don't know. I think in post 2005, I think U-Roy was even more prolific than Big Youth, and that's saying a lot.
Wow.
Because U-Roy ain't getting around too well these days. If you've seen him lately,
Ewart Beckford.
still got them dreads though. Yeah. So what do you got offering up here?
Well, let me pull one up on the since we're on the reggae spectrum. One of my favorite.
We should just do a reggae show.
Reggae artists.
Say fuck it. Let's just
artists slash producers slash
reggae show.
Melodica players slash sometimes ghetto dentist. Keith Hudson, and you know, I just brought a couple out here, but one of the first releases I had to deal with him was the Trojan Keith Hudson and Friends studio kind of cloudy compilation, which is compiled by Steve Barrow, who also went on to run Blood and Fire Records. And it was a really good selection of a lot of sides that were really hard to get for many, many years. And I think Neil brought Neil brought the anthology that came out after this.
Sitting on there.
Oh, there it is.
Oh boy.
So it pretty much went a step further than this because it's a 2-disc CD set, same record label, more material. If I had a choice now, I'd probably go with Hudson Affair.
Well, that came out in 2004. That's when I got.
Okay, yeah. The Hudson record was.
I didn't have anything from him at that point.
90s. But here's another Keith Hudson record. Flesh in My Skin, Blood in My Blood. Nice, rootsy.
Yeah, the music is real. You said eerie?
Article.
Huh?
No, it's eerie.
For lack of a better term, it's atmospheric.
Yeah.
It's different.
It doesn't really sound like any other reggae either.
For that time.
Yeah, for that time. Yeah. And you know, I should stress just how much I love Keith Hudson's Pick a Dub. Maybe the best dub album ever. Maybe.
It was a tall order.
Yeah. And the one that came out after Pick a Dub was Brand, which is runs it close, but not quite as great as the heights of its predecessor. And so that was my Hudson affair.
Hudson affair. All right, I'm trying to go in some kind of like some kind of an order. So I'm gonna get back to my list.
Okay.
2 things. One, I was gonna bring the Sir Lord comic, but there's just not enough material to. I don't know. I tried to make every one of these. I have to have at least 10 albums or 10 releases, and then I would, you know, when I went the list, it'd be like 200 things, and I'm like, here till 3 o'clock in the morning. But I did want to mention him. You know, early first generation DJs.
Yeah.
You know, Admiral Dean sound system. That's early. That's like the birth of, you know,
Toasting.
Yeah. Very minimal.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, you have stuff like your who's the really ugly? Oh, King Stitt. You guys like Stitt, and you have guys like
Count
Machuki and Scotty.
Even U-Roy.
Yeah.
U-Roy's 68 used them and stuff.
Yeah.
But side note, I wanted to mention it. I don't want to bring a bunch of because those records are rare, and I spent too much on those particular records. That was a little bit of a night on the couch.
Oh, let me show you some of my Sex Pistols. Yes. So this is very best of Pistols. It was one of Malcolm McLaren's side deals where he was made a deal with Japan to put this out exclusively on Japanese version Nippon Records, I think it was.
Didn't he do that with like Germany and like?
He did.
What do you think about the Spunk record?
Oh yeah, Essential. I mean, I think that very worthwhile. Everybody knows Nevermind the Bollocks, right?
Well, that's pretty much the one you gotta get.
Yeah. Now here's one you don't see a lot of: is Some Product, Carry On, Sex Pistols, interviews with Johnny Rotten's mom, and radio interviews, and all kinds of crap on this record. Flogging a Dead Horse. Early greatest hits, Pistols. Again, don't see it a lot. Nice turd on the back cover.
I was wondering what the hell that was.
This is a bootleg I got called Gun Control. It was the last concert, Winterland, San Francisco, 1978.
Is the back blank?
Yeah, just Sex Pistols live worldwide.
Yeah, what's that like? Is that because some of that live stuff kind of sucks.
Yeah, especially Dave Goodman produced stuff like that.
Is that an example of that? Or
Yeah,
not,
yeah, pretty much. But a lot of stuff you don't see a lot of nowadays either. Yeah.
No.
So.
Like those albums are getting increasingly rare.
Yeah. I mean, all you really need for Pistols is Kiss This. It's everything. I mean, the only thing missing from this is like the demos and and what you're gonna do about it. That's about it.
Belson wasn't gas. Sid wrote that, didn't he?
Yeah, that was Sid's thing. They tried to have Ronnie Biggs sing it. I didn't like anything Ronnie Biggs sang though. Did you hear that stuff?
Yeah.
You know
What's on the soundtrack
what soundtrack?
for the Rock and Roll Swindle?
Okay, so that has a lot of extra material. Yeah. Like it has
it's like a beat.
Tenpole Tudor doing Who Killed Bambi, and it's got McLaren doing his You Need Hands.
Yeah. Well, it's a beast when it comes to how many songs are on there. But I mean, it's debatable how much is really worthwhile. I think it is because I mean, it's got killer live versions of stuff on there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I think that Swindle's worthwhile as well.
Okay, Gregory Isaacs.
Oh yeah, the Cool Ruler.
Yeah. You know why they call him that? All right, check that out. Check this out though. I want to see your reaction. They call him that because he's got a cold heart. No, fuck you up. I told that to somebody. I'm not going to mention who it was, but they were like deeply offended that I said that.
Oh, well.
They're like, listen to his songs. He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Not so.
Yeah.
He was a badass.
Yeah. Respected
in the streets.
Yeah, and he
could swoon the ladies though.
Such a long career, you know.
Yeah. That's the dub 176.
Oh yeah, is that Slum and Dub? That's nice.
76.
Yeah.
It says 2014. Was that 76?
Is that your favorite Isaacs album?
No.
What's your favorite one?
Well, I can't ruin it.
Oh, it's coming later.
It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
Right.
Not my favorite. Yeah. But I will say the first one's not my favorite either. But it's also not some like when he lost his teeth either. Because I think for a guy with no teeth, he's a pretty damn good singer. You got that little whistle.
Yeah, you could definitely tell the difference. But it somehow he was able to work it. And when I saw him in 2009, right before he died, he was still killing it live. I mean, he put on a great show. That was the, I'll never forget that show. It was the first one I went to after my son was born. It was like trying to take Michelle out of the house at that point. It was hard to do to separate them.
I bet.
It was just, it was a good show though.
My favorite album, it'll surprise you, I think.
Does it start with an S?
No.
Mine does. So comment if you know my favorite Gregory Isaacs album in the comments.
Comment if you know anything or want to comment because nobody's commented.
Yeah.
Somebody will see this.
Yeah.
And comment or subscribe up here or up there or over there.
Right. Oh, let me show you guys this one. This is one of my favorites. Also, our second episode, I'm already busting out what's probably my most valuable LP. This is Inner Circle. They became famous for that song on Cops, Bad Boys, what you gonna do? But this is back, decades before, well, in the 70s when they had the original singer, Jacob Miller. And this album, Killer Dub, is dubs of the stuff they were doing with Jacob Miller. And you can see it, Killer Dub. When this music bangs, you will feel no pain. Anyway, I found it in a Georgia pawn shop.
What'd you pay for it?
I paid.
When you found it?
I think I paid $18 for it. it came to sleeve. You know, this is extremely rare. Do not open.
So they knew what they had.
Yeah, but yeah, rare enough for Blood and Fire to reissue it in the 2000s. So that's my baby, and I'm not getting rid of it. Mm-hmm. Oh, let me show some couple of my Ramones.
Well, let's talk about the Ramones then.
Yeah.
Might as well.
So I did the Pistols. Let's talk about the Ramones, right? Oh, I love Leave Home. That was one of my favorites there, definitely.
Man.
Every song is killer.
I don't have a favorite. They're all my favorites. They're all great, solid albums. Like we were talking, my least favorite was, I might as well pull this out now. You know what I'm talking about. I'm out, by the way. I've been out the whole time. Pat said it was okay. I think this is a good album, but it's my least favorite. It's got some DD stuff on there.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to pull it. I don't want to talk about it in depth, but I just wanted to at least show it since I brought it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the third and fourth one's good stuff. Everybody knows this stuff. Fundamental, essential.
Man, I've been seeing like Blitzkrieg Bop and all kinds of kitty cartoons lately because of the little one.
Yeah.
It's like it's in like Scooby Doo and freaking like I don't know. They were freaks back then.
Yeah.
And they were even more freaks in the 80s. When they had to go to like a what is this, an indie label?
Well, it was actually the 90s they went. It was after Brain Drain. Their next one was Mondo Bizarro. No, they did the live one. Sorry, Loco Live. Mm-hmm. Then Mondo Bizarro was on the new label in the 90s. Man, there was at one point I had all the records, from the beginning through Acid Eaters. Not Ass Eaters.
Ass Eaters. Oh, I missed it.
But I had all of them except Subterranean Jungle because at the time it was impossible to get your hands on Subterranean Jungle. It was way out of print.
Who's your favorite Ramone?
Ooh, favorite Ramone.
Not a hard question, man. You got one.
Well, Joey.
Everybody's got
Joey,
one.
you know. Joey. Sure.
Mine's Dee Dee.
And I mean, I've been air guitaring, like Johnny Ramone all downstroke from the time I was 18. That's, something I would do at any concert you'd see me at. I'm going to air guitar. It's rock.
So, I guess they were all kind of weirdos. All Stooges fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you were, I can imagine being a Stooges fan in the early 70s. You were probably a freakazoid.
Yeah.
Because they weren't selling records.
Yeah.
Stooges weren't selling records.
One of the things that I think is really interesting about the Ramones was Linda Ramone in the fight with Johnny and Joey.
Oh, yeah.
I guess he beat his brains in. He really.
And then they didn't talk to each other for until, death did them part.
And she stayed with Johnny forever after that.
Yeah. So I mean, what can you do?
Yeah.
You can't choose who you're gonna fall in love with.
I remember reading something about Johnny recently where they said that he was riding in a Cadillac or a nice car, and some punks were like, "Hey, it's not punk rock. You can't ride in that car and be punk." And he's like, "I'm Johnny Ramone. If I do it, it's punk."
I can imagine that after he said that, they were like,
don't beat us up.
He was badass. Mm-hmm. Well, moving along. I'm all out of order now. Forgive me. What do we okay. This guy is Italian power electronics, dark power electronics noise artist, Atrax Morg, Marco Corbelli. I say Atrax Morg. I've never heard anybody talk about him, so I don't know if it's Atrax or Atrax. But I like Atrax. I think it sounds good. I got this. He hung himself in 2007. I got this from him before he died. It's Homicidal and Mechanic Asphyxia. So it's 2 albums, 2 EPs. So this is cool. I had to get the tray and put it all together. Because, from Italy, I didn't want to pay for the... I wouldn't either. I'm sending it to... but it's cool. It's like when did he come out? The late 80s. You know, he's real obsessed with death and stuff. Like, you got.
Ended with hanging himself, right?
Yeah, he was really into it, but like into it for real. You know how everybody says, "Oh, they're into death and stuff," but I mean, he was like obsessed with it, like for real. Super nice guy. I got an album from him when I was 8th grade or something. I ordered it from a catalog. Came in a rat trap. It's a big metal rat trap that had like that spiky ends and stuff like that. If you got your hand caught in that thing, it'd probably take it off. And I was confused by it at first because, you know, there's no melody or there's no guitars or anything on that. It's just noise, and I was confused by it. And I remember let Justin hear it, and he was like, "Dude, what is that?" And we just kept playing it, and then I put it in the closet, and I didn't really revisit anything noisy for like 2005. But I always kept it, and I still have it, and that thing is worth like a couple $100.
Oh, cool.
Because they only made 30 of them.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just because when I was in 7th and 8th grade, I would write to all these labels to like give me a catalog or like I'm interested in buying stuff that wasn't at the record store. Because the record store was great for starting a collection, but it's not great for completing it.
No. Yeah, no. When I started out, well, I won't even say starting out, but let's just say in the prime of my collecting, I was using places like Ernie B's.
Yeah.
You know, and
were you writing to them then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So they had like paper catalogs.
And like Tang.
Yeah.
Boston.
Yeah, I had Tang. I had SST.
Doctor Strange. You know, had all the mail catalogs. This is before downloading and LimeWire.
So you sent them a check or whatever.
Or some discreetly tucked away cash.
One more story about this guy. Me and Justin put together a demo of our group called Rotten Body Rape and sent it to him. And shortly after that, that's when he died. Because I was emailing him on my mom's computer. And, you know, he just stopped. Because he had a label called Slaughter Productions where he put out like himself and like other noise groups, mainly I think Italian stuff. And he just stopped. I'm like, oh, what a dick. And I think like 2 years later, I came out and I read that he had, you know, hung himself because he was just into that, like he always wanted to do it. And Justin was like, "Oh, it was our demo." And that was a harsh demo, man. I never put it out on like my noise label, like Mother May Noise or anything like that. That was startling.
Apartment dwelling.
Excuse me. Yeah, but that was I never put that out. Maybe one day. And just to move it along, this is a group that we saw. This is an artist that we saw together.
Oh, Capleton, the Fireman. Yeah.
Try to get the glare off of that.
More fire! I remember that concert. Boy, the Heineken girls showed up, and I was having a great time.
Red hot.
Yeah. The first Capleton I became exposed to was Prophecy.
That's a good one.
Songs like Tour, Wings of the Morning, his collaborations with Method Man.
Yeah, I can do without the remixes. They're still flying.
Yeah.
Especially if you compare it to like stuff that's coming out today. I mean, dear God.
1995. That's when that was.
Yeah, I like this one. This is the last full length that VP put out.
What's it was called? It came out after Still Blazing.
Yeah, 2010.
Ah.
But this is it. He's still doing singles. Like I'm still a collector of him. Like with a lot. Like, man, you should see my Capleton 45 collection. It's retarded.
I hope that we get to see it eventually.
Oh, we'll see it.
Yeah.
We'll see it.
So Dancehall Neil, he came to my apartment tonight, so he left his vast collection across town over there.
We'll be back. We'll be back and forth. Came
over here to my apartment building, which is Murder Central. Anyway, as of today, it is.
Somebody got murdered outside.
They did. And unfortunately,
Man, I even like the early Capleton stuff, like Lotion Man and stuff like that.
Oh, like when he was still kind of slack.
Yeah, kinda. He was never fully slack though. He was never fully slack. He always kind of had a little
more red and
conscious edge to him.
Yeah.
You know.
Alm's House.
And I'll tell you why Sizzla's not on the list, but Capleton is. Sizzla's too prolific.
Yeah, he.
I can name you probably 20 albums I want to get from Sizzla, but I can also name you 20 that I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, I mean, it's
sort
of agreed upon that Black Woman and Child is a classic.
Yeah, there's classics.
And there are a few distinguished classics, but then there's the filler. Yeah. The filler stuff, like
they still put out to this day.
I would say my least favorite Sizzla is called Life.
I like that one.
It's just his attempts to sing. It's like Big Youth when he tried to sing.
Well, look. That's pretty much all Sizzla's doing now. Is singing. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is now. But remember that one that I had with that rapper Ski on it? You remember that?
Not Ski Mask.
No.
So I sound like Ski Mask.
Dude, this was so long before that.
Oh yeah.
It was like way back in the day. That was a not good album. So he can't be on the list. He's too prolific.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was all A+ material, man, jeez, but
you can't.
It can't be all A+ if you're that prolific.
Right.
Because that's like a dozen albums a year.
And in Jamaica, being prolific usually kills off your career completely.
Yeah, and you can be prolific with singles. They're a country of singles. They're not a country of albums like Americans. We're a country, we like our albums. They like their singles. But he's putting out full length, 10 to 20 song albums. But still, he's doing great stuff for the community. His Judgment Yard, and all of that's doing great.
I look fondly back at my concerts with Sizzla CI. I think that we've got. That's a good place to wrap it for now. What do you think?
I think so.
So we're going to be back talking about more of our favorite albums, tapes, CDs, and the like in the next episode, continuing with the same vibe.
Oh, you know what? It's just because I didn't bring too much, but at the same time, I just want to wrap it up. I'm going to talk about this Evan Parker album. Which I don't even know why I brought this at all, because this is going to wind up in the favorite albums anyway, even though I got a bunch of his albums. For any jazz heads out there. Free improvisational stuff. Another style of music that...
is he related to Charlie?
No. Coincidental.
Okay.
Charlie Parker, Bebop Blues and all that. I'm not into that. I like stuff that's more like devoid of melody. Sometimes you just want to hear the opposite of music. At least I do. This is a great one. Saxophone player. And you know what? The funny thing about this is, like, I'm looking for stuff. I'm searching his discography for stuff I don't like. I bought just randomly bought something at Rainbow Records, and I'm like, well, this is great. Like, I just want to hear him play straight, because all this stuff is like he's blowing, like just like, or like yelling at the saxophone, But I want to see him play something like straight, because even Sunra had his straight moments. Yeah, so I bought this album from Rainbow, and I get it home, and I'm like, it's fantastic, great. I'm just looking for something I just want like something smooth so I can be like, see, he started, but I traced him back to like 68, and everything is free and void of all melody. And that's great. It's like the noise roots, man. You have this, and then you have like the Yoko Ono stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty noisy.
Don't Scream. Mommy's Only Looking for Her Hand.
Fly. I'll be talking about that album. That's for the album.
Cool.
So we're gonna wrap it.
All right, guys. Until next time, zip, zam, bowie, and swoosh. Peace.